Hey guys, Law with Hollywood First Look, and today we're at a very special screening for Ultraman Rising, coming out on Netflix June 14th. Let's take a first look.
You know, so who's Shooter Phil, right? He's what, 3,000 foot tall, 40,000 tons? Like, Ultraman is an iconic worldwide character, beloved. I'm very excited to, again, portray such an iconic character and reinvent him for newer generations.
Absolutely.
It's fun. And the movie's great because you don't really have to have any knowledge of Ultraman to really enjoy this film. All ages, any gender. It's going to be amazing.
I remember as a little kid seeing, like on PBS or maybe a Japanese television station in Utah, Ultraman, and it was the first time that I saw an Asian actually be a superhero, and I was probably 5 or 6 at the time, so it resonated, and then of course it disappeared, because you couldn't find it anywhere. So, ta-da! Here I am today. Who knew?
I just remember like the classic show back in the day, and I don't even remember which iteration it was or anything. I just remember the battles and the kaiju and the transforming and the color timer.
My family, my brother, my uncles, they all grew up with Ultraman. They love Ultraman. I did not, so this was the first time I got introduced to it, and thank God I did, because I absolutely love this universe.
As a kid in Japan, I remember being in my grandparents' home, and I kind of looked over, and there's Ultraman fighting, you know, a kaiju.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's so cool. And me and my cousins and my sisters, we pull up our little chones, and we start sumo wrestling, because we were, you know, hyped. We were having a great time. But those are my first memories. And then going to the Omatsuri, it's the festivals. And we go out there, and I'd buy an Ultraman mask. And then I'd try and catch little goldfish with the tissue, you know, like, that's my memory. It's my childhood.
I love it.
So I lost track of it because there really wasn't an outlet for it here outside of Asia.
Sure.
But now we're taking it worldwide. We're taking it global, all thanks to Netflix.
And it's an honor, but definitely has a huge weight of responsibility. But it was all about bringing that legacy to the rest of the world and let the new audience experience how I discovered Ultraman as a 5-year-old too.
Christopher is so charming and wonderful, and you play mom in this, right? What is it about him to you that makes him such a perfect lead for something like Ultraman Rising?
He's a wonderful, gifted, and inspiring actor, and he allows himself to be inspired. So having Gedde and I, you know, work with him, he's just so very humble. But also it's the idea that he's drawing back on his previous life experiences as how he can be self-centered, egotistical, selfish, and that there's nothing wrong with that, because that was the point in his life, that was how he was navigating the best he could, but he learned from those lessons. So having that color palette of dark, you know, living in the dark times, he's coming into the light, and that's what the real palette that I get to see them work with. You know, and he's just so flexible and so open to all the suggestions that are out there. But you know, the bottom line is that he's so tremendously loving and caring in the first place.
The story was always about the emotion of family, and with Ken, I wanted to create a complex character, somebody that you understand that he's struggling, he's trying to figure himself out. So he's got some rough edges around him, but he's also charming. And Christopher, from day one, his first audition when he came in, and we saw his read, just blew us away, because he has that balance of swagger and charm and heart, deep heart. Christopher's such a loving guy, and I think it comes through in the role.
It's always really hard to know how like the OG fans are going to receive something new. I think you know, one of the Nolans said, if you make it with love as yourself as a fan, that's all you can do. And I think John and Shannon have done something incredible. The cast, you know, like Chris and Gedde and Tamlyn, like it's a phenomenal cast. I think people are really going to enjoy it. It's a really good family story. I think it's very touching.
I'm excited, and they did such a great job with this film, and just like the core of the film is so sweet, and I'm very excited for what the future holds for Ultraman, and to be a part of it. I'm just so happy to be here.
Emmy is this giant kaiju baby that Ultraman has to manage and babysit. If you could give him a piece of advice on kaiju care, what would you say?
Scoop the poop as quickly as possible, but also know that you're doing the best you can, and learn from your mistakes. Do not judge yourself. because our parents were our parents, and they didn't give us a template because they didn't have a template themselves. So just carry on, keep calm and carry on is the old British notion, but always know that you always you're doing right when you're doing your best.
We made this film for people who don't know anything about Ultraman, and so I want people to know that this is about parents and children struggling to understand one another, learning to love one another. That's what the film is. I keep saying it's a family film with Ultraman in it, but it also represents Ultraman's values in that way, that idea of finding balance. So you don't have to be an action fan, you don't have to be an Ultraman fan, you just got to have family and love your family, and I think if you're into that, you're going to like this film.
Hi. Oh, crap. Come to Daddy.
Oh.
I mean, stop there.